The open seas are a stage for global power dynamics, where a simple maneuver can escalate into an international incident in the blink of an eye. Today, we're diving into a high-stakes encounter that unfolded in the Caribbean Sea, a confrontation that saw Venezuelan fighter jets square off against a United States Navy vessel. It was a tense situation where a single miscalculation could have had irreversible consequences. What happens when a routine freedom of navigation operation turns into a dramatic face-off? Let's explore the moment Venezuelan Su-30 flankers decided to challenge the USS William P. Lawrence, and how 75 seconds of provocation led to a sudden and sobering realization for the Venezuelan pilots. Our story begins in international waters, a region of strategic importance due to its proximity to Venezuela and major shipping lanes. The USS William P. Lawrence, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, was conducting a routine freedom of navigation operation. These missions are a fundamental part of international maritime law, designed to challenge excessive territorial claims and ensure that a nation's coast doesn't unjustifiably restrict passage for others. The U.S. Navy regularly performs these operations worldwide, asserting the rights of all nations to navigate freely, in accordance with the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. For the crew of the William P. Lawrence, it was just another day at the office, upholding a principle that keeps global commerce flowing and international waters open to all. But this day would be anything but routine. As the American destroyer sailed through the Caribbean, it was operating well outside Venezuela's 12 nautical mile territorial sea. Suddenly, radar operators detected incoming aircraft. To Sukhoi Su-30MK to flanker fighter jets, the pride of the Venezuelan Air Force, were approaching at high speed. These are formidable, twin-engine, super-maneuverable aircraft known for their powerful capabilities in air-to-air and air-to-surface combat. Their appearance was an immediate signal that this was no friendly flyby. The situation on the bridge of the USS William P. Lawrence instantly sharpened. The crew, trained for exactly these kinds of scenarios, moved to a higher state of alert. The Venezuelan jets weren't just observing. According to the U.S. Southern Command, they executed what can only be described as an aggressive and unprofessional maneuver. Instead of maintaining a safe distance, the Su-30s descended to a low altitude and flew directly over the American warship. This kind of buzzing is a classic act of provocation. It's meant to intimidate, to send a message of displeasure, and to test the reactions of the opposing force. Flying a multi-ton fighter jet at hundreds of miles per hour, just a few hundred feet above a naval vessel, is incredibly dangerous. The risk of miscalculation, mechanical failure, or a sudden gust of wind leading to a catastrophic collision is immense. It's a move that violates all established norms for military interactions in international airspace. For the Venezuelan pilots, this was likely a mission handed down from their high command, a political statement played out with military hardware. They were asserting their nation's perceived authority in the region, challenging the presence of a powerful U.S. Navy warship so close to their coastline. In their cockpits, they were probably feeling a surge of adrenaline, executing a bold maneuver against a vessel representing a global superpower. For a brief moment, they held the upper hand, forcing the American crew to react to their actions. They were the provocateurs, setting the tone of the encounter. But in modern naval warfare, what you can see with your own eyes is only a tiny fraction of the bigger picture. This is where our 75-second countdown begins. As the Venezuelan flankers streaked over the USS William P. Lawrence, they might have felt they had made their point, but what they didn't realize was that they weren't just dealing with a single destroyer. The William P. Lawrence is a component of a much larger, interconnected defense network. On board, the ship's advanced in SPY-1 radar, the heart of the Aegis combat system, was tracking them with pinpoint accuracy. The Aegis system is one of the most sophisticated air and missile defense systems in the world. It can track, identify, and engage hundreds of targets simultaneously. To the Aegis, the two Su-30s were just two illuminated dots on a screen, their every move monitored and analyzed in real time. The American crew remained calm and professional. They followed their procedures, issuing warnings and attempting to communicate with the Venezuelan pilots, advising them that they were operating unsafely. But the real game changer was happening unseen, far beyond the horizon. The USS William P. Lawrence was not alone. As part of its standard operating procedure, the destroyer was in constant communication with other U.S. assets in the area. This is the core strength of the modern U.S. military: network-centric warfare. Every ship, every plane, every satellite contributes to a shared operational picture. Within moments of the Su-30's aggressive pass, the crew of the William P. Lawrence received confirmation of what they already suspected. An E-2D Hawkeye, a carrier-based airborne early warning and control aircraft, was on station. The Hawkeye, with its massive rotating radar dome, is the eyes of the fleet. It flies at high altitude, extending the fleet's radar horizon by hundreds of miles. From its vantage point, it can see everything, detecting aircraft long before they become a threat to the ships below. The Hawkeye had been tracking the Venezuelan jets since they took off from their base. But that wasn't all. The William P. Lawrence wasn't just on a solo mission. It was operating in conjunction with a P-8A Poseidon, a maritime patrol aircraft. The P-8 is a flying hunter-killer, packed with sensors, radar, and electronic surveillance equipment. Its mission is to patrol vast areas of the ocean, tracking submarines and surface ships. It too was monitoring the entire interaction, adding layer of information to the shared network. The Venezuelan pilots, focused on the destroyer below them, were completely unaware that they were being watched, tracked, and analyzed by multiple unseen American aircraft. And then came the big reveal. The moment the Venezuelan pilots realized their mistake, approximately 75 seconds after their provocative flyover, their own onboard threat warning receivers likely lit up like a Christmas tree. This is when they received the unmistakable electronic signature of a fire control radar painting them. But it wasn't coming from the USS William P. Lawrence. The signal was coming from a different direction, from a source they couldn't see. Suddenly, their tactical display would have shown them a new and very unwelcome symbol. The symbol of an A-180 F Super Hornet. Somewhere, unseen in the sky, a flight of American fighter jets, launched from a nearby aircraft carrier, had been vectored to intercept. These Super Hornets, armed with air-to-air missiles, had achieved a full weapons lock on the Venezuelan Su-30s. In the world of aerial combat, this is the ultimate checkmate. It's the digital equivalent of a tap on the shoulder, a quiet but undeniable message: we see you, we can engage you, and the game is over. The provocateurs had instantly become the targets. The psychological shift for the Venezuelan pilots must have been jarring. One moment, they were the hunters, executing a daring pass on a surface ship. The next, they were the hunted, locked in the sights of superior American air power. The F-A-18 Super Hornet is a master of the air, and its pilots are among the best trained in the world. The Su-30 is a capable jet, but it was now in an indefensible position. The Venezuelan pilots were presented with a stark choice: escalate a situation they could not win, or disengage. They were outmaneuvered not by speed or agility, but by superior situational awareness and the overwhelming power of a networked naval force. The big, irreversible mistake was their assumption that they were only dealing with one ship. They failed to appreciate the complex, layered defense system that protects a U.S. Navy asset. They saw a lone destroyer and saw an opportunity for a political gesture. What they didn't see was the entire ecosystem of power projection that surrounded it. The early warning aircraft, the maritime patrol planes, and the carrier-based fighter jets waiting silently in the wings. Their 75 seconds of bravado evaporated in an instant, replaced by the cold, hard reality of Jejic's tactical situation. Wisely, the Venezuelan pilots chose to disengage. They broke off their course, turned back toward their home base, and left the international airspace. The incident was over. No shots were fired and no one was harmed. But a powerful lesson had been delivered. The U.S. Southern Command later released a statement condemning the unprofessional interaction, highlighting the danger of such maneuvers. For the U.S. Navy, it was a successful demonstration of de-escalation through strength. They didn't need to fire a shot. The mere demonstration of their capability was enough to defuse the situation. This encounter serves as a perfect case study in modern naval doctrine. It's not just about the size of your ships or the speed of your jets. It's about information, communication, and the ability to see the entire battle space. The U.S. Navy's strength lies in its network, its ability to fuse data from multiple sources into a single, coherent picture, and to deploy the right asset at the right time. The Venezuelan Su-30s weren't just challenging a destroyer, they were challenging the entire system. And it's a challenge they quickly realized they were not equipped to win. The 75 seconds it took for them to understand their mistake was a brief but potent reminder of the balance of power on the high seas. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into a tense military encounter. It's a fascinating look at how technology, strategy, and human decision-making intersect in the world of international relations. If you found this story interesting, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll see you in the next one.